I'm Roger Baker, Executive Director of the Stratfor Center for Applied Geopolitics at RANE, a global center of excellence for geopolitical intelligence and analysis. Learn how you can put geopolitics to work for your organization at ranenetwork.com.
Welcome to RANE's Essential Geopolitics podcast. My name is Emma Kami, and I will be your host today. Recently, many social media companies have made changes to their platforms, such as paid verification features and mass layoffs, which pose difficulties for security-focused teams who need access to open-source intelligence. Here to explain what this means for security professionals is RANE's global security analyst, Charles Thorson. Welcome, Charles.
Hi, Emma.
Can you fill us in on the recent changes at Twitter and the proposed changes at Facebook?
Sure. There have been some recent changes both at Twitter and Facebook that are somewhat concerning for open source intelligence professionals. The big changes are the introduction of a paid verification system at Twitter, and there's also a proposed paid verification system at Facebook. The initial rollout of Twitter's paid verification system led to a lot of fake verified accounts, for want of a better term. People would set up fake accounts just by paying the requisite fee and by, essentially impersonating, whether they'd be large businesses or brands, or they'd be other large, big names. And so, we saw an initial rollout failure vis-a-vis misinformation and disinformation. Facebook is similarly planning a verification scheme, although it looks like theirs is going to be a little bit more focused, or going to have a little bit more stricter identification requirements. So it kind of remains to be seen how their paid system will work. But what this has all meant has raised questions for open source intelligence teams, particularly in the security industry. About, what is the future utility of social media in conducting open source research.
How have these changes affected the use of social media platforms in open source intelligence gathering?
So far, they've added a layer of complexity thus far. They have, or at least maybe not complexity, but rather uncertainty as to what the future of utility of such platforms is going to be. Particularly given there's less content moderation as well, so it's easier for misinformation and disinformation to get through unnoticed, so to speak, or unpoliced, so to speak. So thus far it's raising a lot of open questions about the utility of such tools, and I know a lot of people in the industry rely on, whether it's Facebook and Twitter or it's orgs like Factal or Dataminer to sort of mine OSINT research.
So what does these increases of threat of disinformation and misinformation, what do they mean for corporate security and OSINT teams going forward?
At least in the short term anyway, open source intelligence teams will have to be wary of potential disinformation and misinformation going forward, especially over the short term as these new products get launch and get underway, and also they'll also have to remain aware that the monitoring or the typical trust and safety teams that are usually in large teams have been cut back in recent years. So that's another thing that they'll have to factor in when monitoring these using these social media platforms.
Well, thank you very much, Charles, for that analysis. You can learn how geopolitical events like this could affect your business with RANE Worldview. Our flagship risk intelligence products provide clients with access to the insights and analyses they need to make more informed decisions and drive better risk management outcomes. Sign up at ranenetwork.com. That's RANE network.com. I'm Emma Kami. Thanks for listening.